Welcome to this substitute for live. It's going to be a premiere. I'm going to do some work recording this both on vertical and horizontal, so you'll get both options. Reason why I'm not doing a live right now is because the last couple times I tried to do a live, I randomly started dropping frames like crazy, and the live stream froze, but you could get the audio. The video just stopped showing what I was doing. It just kept freezing, and it would have minutes long stretches or more of me doing whatever, until I figured out why it did that. I'm gonna do a couple premiere sessions until then. So today's premiere slash live is me going to be working on some of this tower. So Rob here has been working on his area, has been expanding out and cleaning up stuff so that he has a little bit of a moat between his area and my area, matching along lines of some boundaries of the water. And it's coming along nicely. That used to just come down the hill as a big long stream. And there used to be a couple trees right here. But yeah, this is coming along pretty good. That horse is stuck. I don't know why he has I don't know why he has the campfires going. It's a little strange, if you ask me. So yeah, the water is supposed to come down from his lookout up there, down to there, and then down into this area that exits out into the water down here, which is fun. Oh, before I continue on, so yeah, as I told him, all these shulkers with ender chests of them are from when I overcrafted them to make a store, and that's a lot of them. Let's get started here. I'm going to do the corners here. Ooh, looks like I did miss stuff or someone nicked it. I'm not sure. Might as well take a look on the outside before I start doing corners to see if I missed anything. Because you know how it is, working on a server, working on a world outside of your computer, there's always going to be a slight delay in placing blocks. Ooh. And if you don't do it just right at the right speed, it can be an issue with missing spots along the where you're placing them if you're going too fast. That's why most of the time I've taken into the practice of doing stuff like this, sections at a time, and then unloading what I've done, and then coming back and seeing if there's gaps. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Usually does, and if it doesn't, I'll figure that out the next time I get on. Kind of like that. Okay. My main goal on these diagonal corners is just to get them up. I haven't decided what they'll look like when they're finished, but for the time being, at least these diagonal corners will have something. I'm figuring the walls will have a mixture of windows. The straight walls will have a mixture of windows and decorative walls going up the length of the going up the height of the building. And then I'll match the corners, diagonal corners, to the sides. Probably. Looks a little ugly right now, but that's okay. Not like I am planning on strategizing what they should look like immediately. The idea is to get stuff how I want it to look beforehand. As I go. Whatever. The idea is to have the basic appearance of what I want before I do any decorating. It's like the marketplace that I have done. I've shown in previous lives and videos what the marketplace looks like completed. It took me I think a half a week to figure out what I wanted exactly for it. I then adjusted what I wanted from it and placed it on here. And you know, things change from the initial plans to the implementation of the public copy. Because that's how it happens. You have an idea of what you want in your mind, and then as you get close to finishing it, or you're whatever, you decide to alter something because you think it looks better with something else, or you add depth to it so that it looks like there's more to it. Kind of like with the castle walls, fortifications, and stuff. In medieval times, they might not have looked like much, but you had a certain thickness and decorative placement that, well, once you got to the meat of things, it has its own beauty. You just have to know where to look. Oop. I don't know what the insides of this will look like, but I have an idea of what I want to put on the first floor. Not exact, since the main floor will be public accessible. There's gonna be certain things where I don't know. I have to think about what to add there because I want it to be public, and in order to get stuff, you have to put in something that costs you a little bit to get in order to get other stuff, and then I have stuff that I want to give out for free or in exchange for something. So might look like a little um, office space with different spots where you could exchange goods for services or other goods, whatever. That's going to be a little bit more thought out because, well, I don't want people to access stuff that they don't have permission to, and you kind of need to set up stuff a certain way if you don't want people to use what you don't want them to get into. We all know how that works. And since I'm not, oh, since I'm not, I haven't gotten to the point of being a active streamer with an active live chat. I figured, at least for the time being, might as well do these for a little while. Might work out for me initially. Anything I do will pull up as a notification for those who subscribe, and they'll not exactly miss it because it's not live in a sense. I've previously recorded, and well, if they're on the server, they and visit me every now and then, they'll see my progress, and they don't get the commentary until they visit the video. Anyways, as I've said before, if you have any ideas of what I should do with what I'm making, please suggest them. It's not like I will reject it. It's just anything is better than nothing. Who knows, you might come up with a better idea than I have. I have my regular marketplace for public use for people to use, and then this will have a small private marketplace for stuff that I want to give away. I don't want the entire building to be one giant marketplace for people. I just want to make it so that I have some place to store my projects, and if people want some of it, that's an option. Because I've had people in the past wanting some of what I've made. I have always refused the idea of people paying for access, but if you want, the only access is what's going to be stored in chests to give away. So might as well do something with it. Okay. So what's up, fam? Yeah, I know. Being able to use limited creative functions in a survival world is could be defined as cheating, but you have even on the servers featured on Minecraft's server page, you can get flying if you pay for it. So who really cares at that point if you pay for it or earn it? In a survival world, being able to control your flying in certain areas would be a great outside of elytra use. And at the end of the day, who cares if you can fly so long as everyone has the ability to access it if they're given the chance to prove that they can use it without being stupid. Oh yeah. The ramblings of a bad man is not a good thing. Ramblings of an idiot can be funny. So if anyone wants to know, this is being recorded through, excuse me, this is desktop mode for Bedrock. So basic Minecraft, not Java. I have a Java account on this server. I just can't use a controller if I use the Java account. Unless I do massive overhauls on the controls. There's probably plugins to connect the controller to the game, so I'm probably missing out on that if someone's put together something to use. There's certain things on that server that it's easier to access those items through Java than Bedrock because the server I'm on is a Java server, but with BedrockConnect. So that what that means is that anyone playing Bedrock and they want to join, they can join. Anyone playing with Java can join, and they are natively able to be on here. Every day at the same time during the day, the Bedrock connection reboots and kicks off anyone who's on Bedrock at the time. So if you're in the US or Canada or somewhere in the Americas and you're playing, the restart happens in the middle of the night for large majority of the people who live in North and South America, and for those who live like in Hawaii or some Pacific island, it's probably more like the evening when it restarts. So it's only inconvenient to those who are playing when it's not their bedtime. Ooh, I'm almost to the top. Okay. Wait. There we go. There you go. Yeah, I need to figure out what the design I want for the corner, diagonal walls to be. It won't be too hard to design it. I just need to figure it out. First, walls up. Second, design it out. See how it looks, and then decide what to modify. It's like an architecture. They're being asked to design a building. Could be a house, could be a 1 or 2 story commercial building or a restaurant, or perhaps even a skyscraper. You get the designs down for the basic structure, what's going to keep it up, if it's a tall building, if it's a small building, and you have heavy stuff inside of it, stuff that you would need to have to prevent damage from the heavy equipment, and then the designing needs to focus the idea of who is funding the construction of it. You get everything down for the basics, for the framing and the whatever, and then deal with the idea of what it should look like outside of that. So if you want something like the oh, like one of these weird skyscrapers where they have a weird design, you have to have supports to keep it up, and then supports to keep it steady in the wind. So if it look like if there's a hole in the building that goes through it, you have to design it in such a way to allow the wind to go through it without tearing apart the building. You know, shear force stuff. Earthquake proof, wind proof, weatherproof in general. And then design the appearance around that. Some of these modern buildings are a little weird when they're built as a skyscraper. I don't know who comes up with their designs. That's to enjoy. Thoughts that probably will never get a solid answer. Why do they do it that way? I don't know, they just wanted it. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of flooring I need to put in. So yeah, if anyone comes on and interacts with me during these, you'll get the interaction. I technically don't need to talk. Why am I talking? I have no audience to talk to. Why do I need to explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it? I just need to give a rough explanation on what I'm doing before I'm doing it, and then remind everyone that what I'm doing somewhere in the middle, and then finish off and thank you for the day, for the whatever. Do 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 do. Ba 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 ba. Do 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 do. Honestly, I probably could. I probably should just do what I was planning on doing. Figure out the issue, and regardless of the outcome, stream my entire day's worth, and or record my entire day's worth, and then make it available to watch. And you could jump in wherever you want. Fast forward, rewind, whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I don't know if you're wondering why I did that, and if you figured out the answer. So I can just go up like this. That's what I did with the initial supports, is just go up like this until I reached height. Ooh, ooh, no. Mm. There we go. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go in and figure this out. I skipped a few. Didn't make noise on some of the placements. Yeah, let's just load it for a minute. Where did I spawn in another? I know I'm near spawn. Why is there glass right there? Oh, okay, now I know where I'm at. That portal, that nether portal right there is right next to, right in my main base. That one is next to the tower. And this one's out in the field somewhere. If you're probably wondering why it's not attacking me, the zombified piglin. I have God mode enabled so I don't get attacked while going between the regular worlds. Makes it awfully convenient debugging things if I don't get attacked in the middle of debugging. Okay, that looks good. Yep, missed a spot. Missed several spots. Okay. Time to visit the inside. Give a good look. This is that's why I decided to start going and breaking the things as I was going on the other one. Started going on the other one. As of an hour ago from the time I'm doing this, it's 6:11 p.m. for me. As of an hour ago, Mr. Beast was doing a live stream raising money for some charity. Oh, it's the water charity thingy that he started doing. Okay. I'm not sure how far along the charity he was at, but apparently he had a goal of $40 million to raise to do whatever the charity is set to do. I don't know. Doing that on regular survival without God mode enabled is kind of tricky. How far can you drop before the repeated drops drop your hearts to the point where you have to be careful. I mean, I could always do this the normal way. But who wants to scale the building? We're doing one floor at a time. And then there's the risk of always falling off and actually dying because of it. Yeah, especially with building out with how tall I made this. Do you really want to risk falling off the edge if you're not prepared with an elytra and some rockets? And you call us our mother. Jeez, woman, and you call us our mother. And you call yourself our mother. Come on, guys. I'm family. on, Weasley. Always looking for a discount because of family, just like everyone else. I want to get cool stuff. I'm your brother. Why can't you give me cool stuff for cheap? Pick a little, tug little, pick a little, tug little, cheap, 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 pick a little, tug a little more, pick a little, tug little, pick, cheap, cheap, cheap. Okay. I don't know how long I was going to focus on this because, oh, well, if I was going to do it all day stream anyways, I better get used to the idea of walking away from the computer with it going. I had it planned, set up originally to use the intermission, but I keep forgetting that. If I don't want to do an AVK session, I have it while I'm doing whatever. I have a intermission thing that I can run. I actually grabbed one that was 10 hours long, so if I did do a overnight stream and I didn't want to show my screen, well, whatever is going. Thing keeps running for 10 hours. About a little over 10 hours and 5 minutes, I think. I have the 3 or 4 minute one and my channel, and then a slightly over 10-hour one. So what I use is what's there. I use a local copy, so I don't have to use up my bandwidth downloading it and playing at the same time. Hello, furnaces. How you coming along? Okay. Sorry we did the I did these on both sides. I don't know if I showed y'all. I added 2 more sets of stacks of 7 double chests with hoppers to this one and the one on the other side. And then I linked the corners here up together. I feed them both into this one. I feed all 4 rows of hoppers into this one, which then goes into these. And as it gets to the end of the line here, it forwards it to the other side over here at the top chest, which then moves it down the line of hoppers, each stack, to this one right here. So as this stack fills up, it tells me I have an backlog of iron blocks that I'll have to pay attention to eventually. But I have 7, 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. I have 84 sets of double chests now, properly backlogged, worked for backlog, along with who knows how many hoppers to connect them all. Probably the same number of hoppers, 84 of them, in addition to the ones that are underneath here. So, but these don't all convert, so that's the issue there. Which the one down here, so I'm only having one hopper feeding all these supplies. This one wirelessly sending, linking to this chest, double chest, which then sends it to the chests that I use to sell iron blocks to the public. And the way I designed it is so that I can keep track of how much iron I produce without having to go back and forth. I always trying to figure out why you didn't just connect the two collection points on both sides to one, and then forward the one side to here. Makes a whole lot easier on the brain trying to figure out where I'm at. All I have to do is figure out if one side is completely full or not. If it's completely full, I then double check the other side. So yeah, and then of course y'all probably need to double check this so that the hopper, the chest and hopper that feeds into this whole thing feeds into this chest right here. You have 5 chests right here, double chests, that then feeds into this double chest that has a wireless hopper right there. That then feeds the supply of store chests in here. I probably should put signs to sell on here, but at this point that's the backlog. So once all these fill up, I don't have to worry about linking up the overflow and letting the overflow feed into it. It gets to a certain point where if I don't give at least some leeway in empty chests right here, if someone decides to come through an AFK at this farm long enough, it's going to cause an issue if the furnace array is producing and sending them over here at the same time. This has been known to lag if there's a backlog. So I don't want that to happen underneath the iron farm. Fill it up to a certain point. Pause the connection once it does. And then call it a day. Then I have the overflow filling up until it can no longer fill, which is good. Let's see if anyone has purchased anything at the rare items shop. I like what Rob did here. One of the other mods on the server, he put these 3 flags here to show that there's a mod that controls this section. This AI is links to the same shop that the AI at the spawn runs on. So as I'm at my base, I can double check the shop to see where the supplies are at if I'm not at spawn. Looks like some heavy cores have been bought, 6 of them. That wither skeleton skulls still are at the same level it was at previously. Okay. Heavy core, heavy core, heavy core. Do I have any in here? No? Okay. Well, there goes my game crashing. Sorry about that. I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to leave it here. Okay, time to get back into the game. You know what? Might as well show off uh, what I've been working on. Well, one of the things. This is not my forever world. It's just my creative that I've used to build stuff on. So, uh, I originally created a void world, and I created a nice little platform at spawn. This was gonna be my map I was gonna roll up map I was gonna hand out. I haven't finished a spawning point for the Nether, but well, I really haven't done much with the spawning point for the Nether. But I have started a decent one for the end. Yeah, I buried the portal underneath the thing so that people could walk up to it and just fall into the portal. Not much of a depth to the water here, but I'm thinking, if I remember right, this did take a lot of work to properly put together. I'm thinking this is what, 175 by 175, so that's pretty good. A line of bedrock. I don't remember what I was gonna do with that, but yeah, that's the vertical height for spawn, the spawn platform. So currently you have boxed in water for fishing and building at spawn for spawn stuff. You have this map of spawn that can be updated through the maps here. They're all level 0 maps, so it's short range maps, so you can get close detail of anything you're building. I have a family member that's building up a little house right there. This grass area I was going to convert into a building or tree area, nature area, so you can just, grind at building up supplies. And, well, this is a door I was going to test. 2 height, 2 block height. You can be on either side of it. Using sticky pistons, repeaters, and redstone. I haven't figured out how to convert this into a usable format for the buggy sections of Bedrock. But yeah, this could be used as a castle gate or whatever. Just haven't figured out a good way to put it all together yet. This is supposed to be the walk up. Oh, it's music's a little bit too overbearing. No audio. Okay. So the idea here is this top platform right here is the platform you use to walk up to the main floor of whatever. And then as you get up to it, you flip the switch, which can be seen on either side of the entrance. I was going to implement pressure plates, but I'm not sure about that either. This is what it looks from underneath. Sticky pistons with 1 row of redstone and sticky piston, and up here the same. not a lot of redstone costs, but if it was any bigger, it would cost a lot more. Easy to make on one or two on a mining run for redstone mainly. You could easily get a couple of stacks if you're dedicated to doing something like this. And I have leftover redstone. So yeah, the whole goal of this was to allow a public area of a spawn for like a server. Haven't figured out what's going to be on here for a server yet for public world, other than the potential marketplace, which I've expanded to update for the play.gpdeos.org server. Basically, what you see here is what it's designed off of on the GPDoes server, except the GPDoes server has the stuff that has some changes to it, like windows looking into each area if you're in this area, and not just the entrances. Yeah, and I don't know why, but I didn't include some of the side doors on the GPDoes copy. So yeah, this is what it looks like on the server without any markers on the top identifying the building. I was going to have someone, the admin of the server, copy and paste this from the copy I forwarded him, but he never got around to it. And I don't know why. So I should have just added back the legs for this because I didn't want him to just copy water. So yeah. I was going to develop a spawn here that you could interact with AI to get stuff and then fly off into distance to start your own project or whatever and survive. But since I don't know if I want to, how I want to do it, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I know most of your multi-world servers that are popular to play on, they have an entry point like this where it's just a giant area where you start off with and then you select where you want to go. It's usually decorated with stuff, landscape, and whatever. They normally don't have another portal and an end portal on here at spawn, at the spawning point of the selection list. But I wasn't thinking of having this as a multiple world starting point, just a creative point, whatever. Just sort of as a starting point for people to launch off of for a creative survival. I was gonna provide update this to a point where I could list this all as a survival without having to go into creative, but it required me using this. I was going to put this in the building I constructed back there, and each one can be edited. And under the advanced settings, you could tell what to do if you how you interact with it. A little RPG message if you really want to. I don't know why I deleted the ones I had here, but I had one standing offset of the information, the offset of the map. That would give you rockets, one stack of rockets and one elytra. And then I was gonna have a bunch of them that you have one giving you grass, one giving you dirt, one giving you this, and one giving you that, so that you can go off and create above a void entirely in creative as a survival user. You just come back to spawn whenever you need supplies. It was going to be something like get all the natural stuff to start off with, and then as you progressed and you need specialty items, you stuff that you could craft with the natural stuff would have to be traded for other stuff, for the harder to get stuff like the ores specifically, and tools and the whatnot. That would be the more difficult stuff to get on a survival in a creative world. Oh well. You get to this eventually. I'm not entirely sure if I put on here a couple platforms of out in the middle of Bedrock bug craft area. Things start working out on you as you move. Or if that was another one I made. Do 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 do. Yeah, I was in lifeboat. I think it was lifeboat that I had my own survival island on. Yep. Apparently I've been off of this for a little while. Oh yeah. I was doing stuff here. Uh, apparently, there's a bunch of stuff I've put on pause because I wanted to start doing a series and forgot to come back here. I will never figure out why you don't just get the the raw form. Not just silk touch everything. These aren't silk touch, and somehow you get these as silk touch. Except for the lapis lazuli. Dead. Let's see where I was at on the server. Itchy ear. If y'all wondering. Okay, this is where I was at. That's fine. TP honey is still here. Oh yeah, I started a little area for me to start using something to craft potions later. I don't want if I'm gonna start selling stuff. If I'm gonna start selling these to people. If I'm gonna start selling potions to people, I need to build up a supply of these. That is not creepy whatsoever. Oh yeah, okay. Not like Pima's on using it or anything. I wish Pima would be on. Some of the stuff I've been doing, I was hoping that some of these people who has access to stuff would actually volunteer when I'm ready. I guess not. So yeah, King Shamer, Pizza Maker. If you two are here watching this video, you probably could help me with this if you really wanted to. Probably gonna remove Pima off the list if Pima keeps taking a month off and not show up until I'm already in the middle of something. Okay, who else has access? Since I'm not on Java, I can't just access the list like you would normally. I have to go to the map and see from there. I alt, okay. Pima, Robert, Gold, obviously. Pizza Maker, and King Shamer. Oh, and my tower I have. The claim I have for my tower, I added Phila Gaming. "777" to the builders list. Okay. Oh yeah, I was gonna have limited access on the floors above ground level, and those who I trust would get access to whatever I put in there. Okay. Robert Gold. What are you constructing? Yes, I'm still here. A couple of these claims I can give up because I don't know who the owner is, and the plugins that are controlling the ability to fix up stuff isn't useful right now. So why protect the area if I can't use if I can't use the ability to fix? Okay. Switch over to that. Yeah, my fireworks. Okay, so this is what. He's doing something over here. I wonder what he's doing. Level out some of the land. Hmm. Oh yeah, there's nothing underneath there. Someone started digging a hole to protect themselves at night and kind of stopped. And someone started building this and stopped too, and then it got griefed a little bit. Might as well finish tearing it down. There's a couple of these builds where they all look like one specific person started building them and never stuck around with it and redid it to use for later for other projects like I've been doing. Doesn't make sense. Why would you make something and then just abandon it? Especially when you're on a server where people can take over it if you don't log in after a month. leave, and then leave long enough, and suddenly what you built is either taken over by someone else, or damaged, or destroyed. I know what small dinky starter builds. What can you say about that? But just to build it and then disappear, as if you got tired of doing whatever. I expanded that tower out just in case someone came back and wanted to have something above ground, which makes sense actually. Some people want to build stuff and not have ground access. Because I can, as a mod, ignore claims to inspect stuff and fix stuff if need to. Might as well fill in the couple holes he never filled in, apparently, because of server load times. Oh yeah. I was removing these because the person who was working on this logged out and never came back. Ah, dang it. I didn't want to have to use creative. OB, no, OW, whatever. Why do you have so many of these outside? You know, you can build above ground if you really wanted to. So if anyone's wondering, this person took over this build initially because he raided the supply and then wanted to annoy the person who owned it, and then started digging into the basement area for protection to make a secret base, and well, I've kind of failed. I know where it is at, and so do other people. And now I poked a hole into it. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah. Might as well fill in a couple holes for you. OW 06 6W, I think it was. Make it look like you weren't here. No one was here on the surface level. Outside of the destruction of the building. I hate people writing stuff and then griefing because they find it funny. Some of these people put a little bit of effort into it and you just destroy it. Let's see if we poked any more holes into it. Okay. Okay. That, ooh. That hidden staircase doesn't look like it has anything broken. Sounds like an emergency beacon. Or something. Yeah. Or something. Someone replaced that. I wonder who. And someone finished that, even though it's not completely finished, which is good. Except someone. I wonder what the person was going to do. I reclaimed this area and it looked worse than it looks now. Still looks pretty bad, but yeah. Fixed up some of the holes in the structure here. Don't know why someone filled that in with dirt. Whoever was working on this originally, I forget who, had a legitimate nice idea of a house. Open floor design. You could see into it without having to go into it. And then he just logged out and everything started going downhill. I could see the basic idea of what the person wanted to do. But I'm not entirely sure on everything. Oh yeah, I forgot. The hole was initially made not that deep, and then I dug it further, and if they survived the fall, they had a little bit of exploring and then fell even further. If they didn't have any food, they didn't survive. Sort of like a, why are you looking here? You're not supposed to be here, sort of thing. You know, it could have been that this person, whoever it was initially, wanted to create a number of farms for people to and use. Tree farm may have birch, flowers, flower farm, rabbits if you wanted a rabbit. And it was decorating so with different ores, the walkway up to the house and everything. There's a lot of these miniature structures here that people were trying to put together to make iron farms that they never researched out the optimal space needed, and there's golems running around because of the spawners not having enough space. And then there's projects where people just entirely abandon because they started doing stuff as a group and wanted to do stuff as a group and never really finished off stuff like this whole. Someone started making this whole and OW6 I think it was came in and put the netherite there with a beacon that's not that is apparently powered. Except that is not, and someone already started harvesting the netherite. See what I mean about people going in and work, starting to work on something and then just abandoning it. I hate abandoning stuff myself, so I don't know why they abandon stuff. At least decide what you want to do with it before you abandon it. That's the least you could do. If you're gonna make an iron farm for people to use, make an iron farm and finish it. Debug it if you have any issues, and no, there we go. What? Okay. Yeah, someone decided to poking holes into this. Yeah, the roof is bad. Someone started poking holes into the roof. And the flooring. Someone gutted the wood beams. So I think this was Cordy's house he was working on, and now it's not so much of a house, but yeah. I had fixed up this place. Why are people poking holes in it? Again. Jeez. either loot it for everything it has or leave it alone.
Excuse me, there is a message for you.
You can tell someone was definitely clearing out this forehead and base of some sort. This obviously was gonna be one. You wouldn't notice until you come up onto it. One of the first things I did when I came on the server initially, well, at one point, was I explored out to this area and found this. Someone was working on recreating Mordor, and I don't remember who. Obviously, spent a bit of time figuring out the area and constructing. I always wondered if the person would ever log back on and finish. The person obviously was taking a lot of thought and effort into this structure. Lord of the Rings, the Eye of Sauron, Mordor. like the person they even put in spots where the towers are gonna go. And obviously was gonna start clearing out some of the water to properly put in additional stuff like I don't know. Makes you wonder what plans the person had. There's some small scattered little things where you can do a survival starter house with, but really doesn't do much other than provide a temporary stopping point for starting off. Either someone got into my spawn eggs or they naturally spawned a lot in sometime in the last day. Because I had sent a large amount earlier in this area. Either someone got into my spawner eggs or they just mass spawned that many. Unless it was Rob. I know he has some spawn eggs of different stuff. Wait. It's like someone got into. I wonder, has anyone spawned a dragon and didn't deal with it? Nope. No, there's one question on my mind. Yep, it's still there. At some weird point, something happened and this got wiped out of existence. Don't ask me how that happened. I really need to finish the marketplace. I've been slacking. TBI, if you ever watch these and get to this point, please look at your Discord messages. I want you to convert something that I previously sent you. Yeah, I'm half wondering if Rob just spawned them randomly as he was going to his other pet project. Oh, so there are wolf spawn eggs here. But that's an entire stack that's right there. Okay. Couldn't have been from this chest that wolves respawned from. You know, I just might as well take the stuff that's useful to me. I have no idea if whoever had this will ever come back. You know, before I got put in as mod on this Minecraft server, anytime I attempted to get into his claim, I'll be bumped back and not fall straight to the ground. You know, Rob might be making something like this over there. He does need ooh. Okay. He does need to fix a few holes in these. A couple of people over the last year and a half has poked holes into them and did whatever. Like that. This hole wasn't there previously, that wasn't there. The walls are missing. Used to be a little bit more. To it. I'm not sure if someone raided this recently. Door power is obviously gone right here. Yeah, that's been raided. This used to have more in it. Chests, I believe, with stuff in it, so I'm guessing someone raided it for the useful stuff. I don't know why no one took the bed from here. That's actually a lot more stuff than I thought would be in here. I know I would take it if I was going to use it. I wonder if this specific one is under a claim. I don't know why it hasn't been rated like the others. I'm guessing there used to be a campfire up here for a chimney. I always figured he was going to do a lot of work up here making a village around this area. Wonder why he stopped. He and TPI was obviously going to be there, but TPI has been keeping his accounts at spawn ever since the server started getting people on it. Wait a second. Yeah, I think I did that. I was confused. You know, I wonder if he actually touched anything on the inside here. I think all I did was put the banner up for the same mod. Yeah. You know, if he was doing underground walking of the caverns, he might have come across the entrance to this. Let's see how long I've been recording. 2 hours and 24 minutes. Okay. No, I've always found that weird. I don't know what's on the server that's causing it, but the random lightning separation. Buggy. A little buggy, and, well, doesn't help anything when you need it most. Wait a second. Where did someone... Yeah, someone gave, gave me a bunch of these, and I don't know where they came from. Why do I have a shulker of them unenchanted? One of each. Yeah, I can transfer these up there. I'm gonna have to eventually shift my storage back to the ground level. I just don't know why I haven't done it yet. yeah, I remember what I was doing with all the crying obsidian. I lost a lot of respawn anchors I was gonna sell off because of the add-on plugin going down. I wonder what else I lost that I wish I didn't lose. That I feel like it was a wasted effort because of the loss of the option. Okay, people. Hope you have had a wonderful evening. Don't forget to smile.
Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear words.
Love you all.